Standing head to knee, part 2. This video is geared more for the serious yoga student. Are you ready to take this posture to the next level? Hi everyone, if this is the first time we're meeting, my name is Jimmy Barkan. I've been practicing hot yoga for over 40 years. Please consider subscribing. Hit the notification bell, hit the like button. It really boosts up our video in the algorithm, and I appreciate that. Standing head to knee, or in Sanskrit, we call it Dandayamana Janushirsasana. Now in the Bikram world, they call it Dandayamana Janushirsasana. Bikram and Ghosh were notorious for mispronouncing the Sanskrit. The head is the Shirsha. The knee is Janushirsasana, FYI. So why did I make this video? A lot of people struggle when they're at the intermediate to advanced level, and they're trying to get to that next point where they're trying to touch their head to the knee, and they make a couple big mistakes. So we're going to go to the studio with new Barkan Teacher Iuliia, and let's get started. So here we are at the Fort Lauderdale studio with the wonderful assist of Iuliia, a new Barkan graduate. And if you're interested in the Barkan trainings, there are links in the description below. So let's start with standing head to knee, intermediate and advanced. Now remember, this is the intermediate advanced version of standing head to knee. If you're a beginner and you want to see the detailed steps for the beginning process, check out the video we did here on standing head to knee a few months ago, and that gets in more to the preliminary. This is more advanced techniques. So now, the standing leg is straight, that's a given. Our shoulders are down and our arms are extended, so our leg is now completely straight. And now what we have to do is relax the wrists, elbows, and shoulders. So let's talk about the wrists. As I talked about before in that other video that I did on standing head to knee, because this is part 2. This is more intermediate advanced. We don't do the protruded wrist grip, because as a beginner, this is going to be great. This is going to give you a good vice grip, and you're going to hold on to that foot like crazy. But now as you start getting more to the intermediate advanced side, it's time for you to start to drop your elbows and wrists. So how are you going to do that? This has to be loose and relaxed. Also, your wrists don't want to protrude, you want to extend them out. So look how I got another inch or a couple centimeters further without even getting more flexible, just by changing my grip. So now it's time for you to get the elbows, shoulders, and wrists to drop. And how are you going to do that? It has to be relaxed. So Iuliia's going to do the pose. She's going to face this direction. She kicks her leg out. And once the upper quad is engaged, remember that's the prerequisite, the upper leg has to be engaged to go to this next level. She tightens the quad, and now wrists, elbows, shoulders drop and relax. Look how far down her elbows go. Below the calf muscle, that's the hard part. And then she can press in her arms to the calf muscle. Now she has something else to hold on to. And now her head can come down to her knee without her spine moving. So now when the upper leg is straight, your primary thought changes. No longer is it shoulders down, arms extended. Now it is keep the upper quad muscle engaged. Because what happens is you start dropping your elbows and your shoulders down, your upper leg has a tendency to bend. So if you keep the upper quad engaged, you will not allow that to happen. So now I'm going to have Iuliia face this direction. She kicks her leg out to a parallel position. One of the biggest mistakes I see people having in this pose is they go too flat back. So she's going to come down with a flat back. And then when she tries to touch her head to her knee, it touches her shin. So her center of gravity is way too forward over toward her foot. Okay, let's have Iuliia relax for a second. Your upper body doesn't drop at all. This stays concave. You can even look down at the floor in front of you, right down directly below you the whole time when you're kicking that leg out. So watch Iuliia do that. She kicks her leg out. She's going to look down here. Her elbows drop. And look at her spine. Doesn't move. And now her head touches her knee. And now you can see the center of gravity is over her knee, not over her shin. And now look how nice and rounded her spine is. That's where we want to be. Now let's look at the standing foot. This is where it needs to be. I'm going to have her step her right leg out a little bit so you can see. It should be parallel right here. So what happens is the tendency is the foot wants to turn out to the left a little bit. When that happens, all the weight is coming into the inside of the knee. or the meniscus. And that's where you can run into a lot of problems, especially if you have a tendency to hyperextend your knee. You don't want to turn that foot out. And if you do hyperextend the knee, make sure you watch this video on don't lock the knee. But what you want to do is turn the foot back into center. So that foot is exactly parallel or perpendicular in this direction. So you're not turning out to the side. Now all the strength comes into your quad above the knee. And now you've got all the support that you need. Now in the Barkan method class, this is the longest posture we hold. We do 60 seconds. I even do the second set 60 seconds too. In the Bikram roll they do 60-30 I believe, but in the old days it was 60-60, and that's what I continue to, that tradition I continue to uphold. But in the advanced class we used to do 2 minutes each side. So how are you going to hold this position for so long? The key is once you're in the full position, once you've mastered this as an advanced level, then you must keep the quad engaged and relax the breath. Because if you hold your breath, you're going to only be able to hold the pose for as long as you can hold your breath. So you've got to relax the breath, keep the quad engaged, and then you'll be able to maintain this position so much longer. And finally, you're going to have an internal clock. You're going to know, okay, I can do this posture for 30 seconds. Tomorrow I'm going to go 32 seconds and do that for a week. Then the next week I'm going to go 34 seconds, and then you build from what you have. Don't feel bad. Some days you're going to be stronger than other days. But here's another very important thing. The days you're really strong, those are the days you actually need to back off. Because those are the days I've actually hurt myself. When I feel really super strong and I push, the body is going to fight you, and that's when you can pull something. So when you're in the days when you're feeling a little bit on the tired, fatigue side, those are the days you can actually push it. Interesting enough, it's different psychology. So let's look at a final checkpoint. The standing leg is straight. That's a beginning primary thought. Now she extends her leg out. Shoulders down, arms extended. That's the intermediate primary thought. Now it's time for her to drop her elbows down. The upper quad is engaged. That is your primary thought. The wrist drop, the shoulders drop, the elbows come below the calf muscle. The body curls in, the weight's to the front part of the big toe mound of that foot, and the head touches the knee. And now we're going to look at the ultra advanced. So watch Iuliia. Now when you first start doing this, you might find, or you're definitely going to find, that your thigh muscle, your top quad is going to cramp up. So she's going to face me. Start out in your regular position. So start out in your full position. Like how she's staying rounded right from the beginning. She's not coming forward like we talked about before. And then what she's going to do, she's going to move her hands down to her heels. She lets go of one hand as it continues to face forward, and then the other, while keeping the quadricep muscle engaged. Look, Ma, no hands. So that is our episode for today. I thank you for joining me. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Hit the notification bell. You get notified when I post a new video. Smash the like button. It really helps out the channel, and I appreciate that. Standing here today, I hope you enjoyed it. Any struggles, put them in the comments below. I get to all the comments, and I'll see you at the next video.